universe is vast. As I've traveled to and explored different planets, I've never forgotten the importance of my mission. I'm not just discovering new worlds, but I'm also unraveling the mysteries of my own existence. I've faced many challenges along the way, but I've remained steadfast in my pursuit of knowledge. With every step forward, I come closer to understanding my place among the stars.
And just like that, we are live. Yes, I'm a little under the weather today, so my voice is kind of in and out, but I'm here. I'm ready to do the show. It's going to be a great time. I just wanted to create a little bit of an intro, something different, because I'm hyped for Starfield, and I know a lot of people out there are hyped for the game as well. Colt, you're hyped for the game too, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean,
welcome.
That's all everybody's been talking about this past 2 years, but especially lately. I mean, since this past week, it's been crazy.
Oh, it is, and we're going to get into that.
I loved watching that. Fonz, I just got to say that I know you're kind of like half kidding when you make that, but you're also kind of half serious because you're really hyped about the game.
Oh, yeah.
That's so cool, man. That set the mood. It totally set the mood, man. I love it.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that, man. And already, like clockwork, every week, Brigadier's Blue with the super chat, $5 super chat. Thank you very much, brother. He does this every week. GTL time, baby. And what a better week to have Colt on after all that spicy ABK news. Looking forward to it all. Yes, we're going to be talking a bit about that, but we've got some other topics as well. We're going to have a great time today. Every time Colt is on, we have an amazing time here on GTL. It's such a fun show. I'm excited. I'm glad that you guys are excited. So let's go ahead and go, Colt. Colt, let's first talk. Actually, no. We ain't going to get into that. What have you been playing lately? Let me know.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I've actually been in a dip like I've never been before. So my kids and I, and even Gaz and I have been playing Fortnite Season 2, Chapter 5 or whatever. I was messing around with Far Cry 5's Lost on Mars DLC because it's got that Starfield thing going on, but it's really goofy and funny. And just kind of playing around, trying to find something to hold on to for a couple weeks. Because as you would say about Wolong, I've tried to get into Wolong. I get my butt kicked and my patience is gone. So I have not been playing Wolong Fallen Dynasty to hold me over. I'm sorry. I'm just being honest.
That's fine. I know a lot of people who are also struggling with Wolong. I myself struggle sometimes. I have some gameplay today I'm going to show of Wolong. I'm not very good at it, but, I try. But I'm having a blast with it. I really like Wolong. I think it's in my opinion, I think it's the best third-party AAA game they've put into Game Pass so far. For me, that's just my opinion. I'm really digging that game. But
like brand new day and date, yeah, for sure. I can't think of what else has been out there.
I mean, if you really think about all the third party that we've had put in there, Outriders was pretty good, but it was kind of a mess.
Plague's Tale Requiem was really good, but I didn't stick with it. Like that's another game. I like the first one, but
it's that whole stealth genre for me that I don't know. I'm not too big on it. And it's funny because in an open world game, sometimes I do go stealth, but it's just a different type of game. It's very linear and
I just feel like I played Plague's Tale. Oh my gosh, I can't remember the name of it. I played the first Plague's Tale game a year after it was out. I finally got to it and went all the way through it. And so it's been less than 2 years. So it feels like I just finished it. So I need to go back because like our friends have told us, it's well worth it when you get midway through the game all the way to the end. It's amazing. But sorry, yet another time where I've let everybody down.
Don't worry about it, Colt. They're there, Colt. You know, maybe that's you right now, right, Colt? All right, let's turn that off. I don't want to hear Jim Ryan crying in the background. That's Jim Ryan's actual cry, by the way. I recorded that.
Legit. Oh my gosh. Yes, thank you, Hargy. Plague Still Innocence. Yeah.
Please tell me you disabled the new ads during live stream setting. Bro, I didn't know about this. Is there like
I don't know
ads
about that either.
that pop up during the live stream? I did not know about that. So I haven't, if there are ads, I apologize in advance. Did not know that. I see some good people in the chat, like Hargeet Chani, our good friend, Fifth Horseman, UK Lad. It's Timmy, version 2, I guess, opposed to the version 1 of Timmy. Anyways, Biff Rinaldi in the chat got a thumbs down from somebody in the chat. Shout out to you.
Fonz!
Plume Network. Yeah. You know what? I had Plume on last week. What a joy to have Plume on. He was a really great guest and very knowledgeable with the ABK stuff and everything. Definitely somebody I'm going to have on again. Really enjoyed his takes. And honestly, I found out, Colt, that him and I are a lot alike when it comes to games, which means he's a lot like you too. The open world genre, we all love that. It's
yeah. Somebody just said to me recently, like, I said something about how I made a joke about how I'll put 100 hours into Starfield, and someone's like, "Who has time for games like this anymore?" I'm like, "Me."
Yep.
I mean, I won't play 100 hours in a week, that's for sure. But
no,
I just looked.
Did you? Go ahead. Sorry,
I have over 350 hours in Fallout 4 on the Xbox, and I think I have probably over 150 on PC on a separate playthrough.
God. You've beat me on that game. My playthrough of that game was 259 hours on the PlayStation 4.
Yeah, that's a lot of time.
It is,
and
a
most
lot
of that time is you just going out and just living in the world.
And that's what's funny is that people will say, "You don't know much about Starfield. Why? How do you know?" Because it's a Bethesda RPG single player game. I'm gonna be all in. It's sci-fi on top of that, which is my genre. I'm all good. It's gonna be
Todd's told us, he said, you know what to expect from our type of games, and fans of our games know what to expect. And like Ryan McCaffrey asked him, is it going to be Skyrim in space? He's like, well, I mean, yeah, because Todd kind of explains how, they always evolve their games as they do their real things. Fallout 76 doesn't count because it wasn't them, their full team. But, they just kind of grab a lot of that you loved and they build that into the next thing and they evolve that engine. Well, there's just a lot of good stuff to look forward to, and we'll get into that Starfield talk.
Of course,
I hope you've got it cooking for us in the back burner.
Definitely. And guys, speaking about getting into stuff, Colt, are you ready to get into 5 questions? That's right, Colt. 5 questions, 4 trivia, 1 subjective. And today is going to be pretty fun because some are hard, some may be easy. I don't know. A lot of people are like, you're making them too hard or you're making them too easy. I can't win.
You always make them too hard, bro.
All right. Well, today, I hope you get every one of them wrong. No, right. I hope you get them right. Here we go. Number 1.
Why the music? Why?
The music has to be there.
I know.
In 2016, this Street Fighter game released on the PlayStation 4 and Windows PC only. Which Street Fighter was this?
Street Fighter 4. 5. Wait. Well, I mean, I know which one.
I need an answer.
Gosh. Street Fighter 5.
Correct. You almost lost
Street Fighter
it with
4
4.
was on 360.
All right.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just got mixed up.
That should be pretty easy. That should have been an easy starter question.
I mean, I know exactly what game it is. Okay. That wasn't even really a question. That one doesn't even count. Don't even give me the point. It's too easy.
You got a point.
Go ahead.
You got a point. All right. Number 2. This 2013 spin-off game was so far disconnected from Far Cry 3 that it could have dropped Far Cry 3 from its name and just simply been called what, Colt?
Blood Dragon.
Correct. Blood Dragon.
So amazing.
Blood
Freaking
Dragon.
amazing. It never got enhanced. It never got a definitive edition. I think they just back compat it. So it's still 30 frames, but
do you know what's
it's a
funny?
beauty.
That's one game I've never played.
What? Fonz? No, you
Never.
Fonz, you'll love Fonz,
And it's
you'll
not
love
that I
it.
didn't, that I avoided it. I just never, I was playing other things at the time.
Okay, hold on.
Hold on.
Michael,
Music's gotta stop.
Michael, yeah, okay. Michael Bean, I think his name is, the guy that was in Alien and SWAT and Platoon, I think. Anyway, he voices the main character. The main character's name is Rex Colt. Rex Power Colt is the name of the main character.
Power Colt.
He has a metal hand that looks like Inspector Gadget's enemy. Every time he reloads a gun, he flips the gun like really cool or throws the ammo in. Dude, you
Nice.
gotta play it.
Nice.
You gotta play it.
Stop, you're not getting out of this. Let's go.
All right, go ahead.
Moving
go back
along.
to the show, or go back to the questions. You gotta play it.
Number 3. God, this should be so... I did kind of make these too easy for him, and I shouldn't have. God dang it. Number 3. This game from Moon Studios was released on Xbox One back on March of 2015. Moon Studios.
Ori and the Blind Forest.
Correct. It was too easy. I'm disappointed in myself. Number 4.
Fonz,
What-
I've been gaming for 40 years, sans about 8 to 10 years when I kind of wasn't gaming as much.
Yeah. All right. So, what is the protagonist's name in the 2016 game Recore?
But, oh, you got me on this one.
Don't look at the chat. Don't look at the chat.
I don't never look at it. Fonzo would never cheat.
Yeah, he cheats all the time.
Well,
Yes.
I won't get this one, so I'll just make up a name. Bertha Girdwitch. I don't know her name. It's
What?
like some cutesy name like Lyanne
Yeah.
or something like
No.
that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No.
I didn't like the game.
You get 3 buzzers for that because that was horrible. That was horrible. It was Jewel Adams. Jewel. I would have accepted Jewel.
Yeah.
All right. So here's one. We can shut off the music for this because this is subjective. Although as host, I still have the
Recore.
power to say if you were wrong or right, but
Okay.
we're going to go with it anyway. Here it is. If you had to pick one development studio to build the perfect game for Colt Eastwood, which studio would it be and what type of game would you have them make?
Oh, shoot. I think Fonz would agree with me on this one, chat. Although you could pick so many, but I think if I said this, Fonz would go, yeah. I would want Rockstar to make me an epic open world action game. It could be anything. I mean, it could be basically Red Dead Redemption, but in like a modern setting, something cool. But I would love to see something new from Rockstar.
I think, of course, I would love that
What was
answer.
the studio that comes to your
You
mind
just
first? 'Cause
pandered
that's-
to me. You know what? You pandered to me. You pandered. I don't like that at all. No, it's you love Rockstar as well.
Yeah, we both do.
Yeah, we both do.
Yeah.
I can't wait for GTA 6. Can't wait.
Did you hear the leak on that this week? Is that in your topics?
No, what was the leak? Let me hear it.
I think I saw it like when I was in the airport coming back from LA. The leak is that GTA 6 is being readied to be like previewed by the team or something, and they would love to try and get it out by holiday 2024. But you know, for
Ooh.
Rockstar, that means they're going to move
Yeah.
it to 2025. But I mean, it's very possible that we could. Maybe they were getting. I should have actually looked it up this by memory, but I think they were getting stuff ready to show for E3 this year, and they want to have it by holiday 2024.
Oh,
So-
well, hold
Yeah,
on.
I can look that
Let's
up.
think about that for a second because Grand Theft Auto. Okay, so Rockstar.
Looking it up while you talk.
Grand Theft Auto 5 was shown how long before release? I don't
Oh,
remember.
man.
They
Prob-
man, it seems like they don't show anything until at least about 8 months, or 6 months closer to the date. I don't know. Guys, chat, do you guys know like how soon does Rockstar
Here it
show
is
their
from
games?
Tom Henderson. I couldn't pin down what year we saw the trailer with Michael like overlooking the city. But I know we waited a good 2 years at least before that game came out. So my first guess would be like around 2011. So let me see. GTA 6 is likely released to be released this year with a release date tentative of 2024.
Nice.
I mean, within a year. But I thought they said something about E3. Yeah, set to be announced at E3, according to Insider Gaming, which is Tom Henderson's deal that he works. So I don't know. It's GTA 6. Give him time.
Yeah, give him time for sure. But no, that is cool. I'm thinking about that, and it's just one of those things where I wonder how soon they would show it, because if they do show it this year, E3 this year is going to be pretty dang phenomenal. Yeah. Because we're already hearing rumors that Sony's got quite a lineup that they're going to show a couple of weeks before E3, possibly. This is rumor mill, but supposedly they've got some bangers they're going to be showing. Microsoft should have some bangers they're going to be showing. It should be a fantastic year for showing games, future games. But it's also been a fantastic year for games themselves that have come out already, and what we've got coming is amazing. I'm really shocked at gaming this year. It's been so good for me. That's why I've been really positive and happy lately. And we're gonna get into something here, because we're gonna ruin my happiness here completely. We're just gonna destroy it. Like okay. Let's talk about a game delay that gamers seem to be so upset about, Colt. And it's gotten to the point where gamers are attacking other gamers, and of course, it was the announcement that Suicide Squad was delayed. I know what you were thinking. I know what you're thinking. I was going to go with Starfield, but I'm going to go with Suicide Squad. Okay. We'll talk about Starfield in a minute, but Suicide Squad, this game was delayed a second time. How dare they, Colt?
How dare they?
How dare they? They lied to us.
Can we speculate on what they're going to do to the game with
for sure,
with up to a year, maybe less than 2 years of extra time?
So we saw the backlash that's going on with this game, right? A lot of backlash. I'm going to show the trailer here. People don't like the fact that it's just Rocksteady has just totally did, I don't know, a 180 from what they've done in the past. Like, you're taking the guys that brought us the beloved Arkham series and you're making them, or maybe they
one of the best,
but they're making
single player experiences. Like, it's like the hallmark,
but they've made a
pacing, and
they've made a looter shooter here essentially. And people are like, Boomerang is running around with guns when he's got his weapon in his name, and he's got his weapon right there, but it's a looter shooter. They're all just shooting guns.
That's so weird. I mean, you and I really liked Gotham Knights, knowing full well going in that it was going to be gutter trash, and then we ended up really liking it and had a good time.
You know what it was? It's not that it was like a stellar game. It was fun gameplay. The gameplay loop was fun, and anytime a game has fun gameplay, you're going to enjoy it to some degree. But this, and I've heard, I can't say any names out there, but I know some people that are playing it behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. And I know you probably know people too. They're not really happy with what they're delivering. And
I talked to somebody who doesn't even want to even bother with it. Yeah. Outside of the alpha.
Yeah.
Which bums me out. Like, I don't care who or what. Like, we don't like to hear that.
Anything. I don't like to hear any game. Dude, I was looking forward to Forespoken. And that game turned out to be, just hot trash for me. I don't like the game at all. But
I thought Forespoken was going to be like really highbrow, high quality, like like it was going to be like one of those watermark games where it kind of goes away from the Final Fantasy formula and sends it in a different direction, and it ended up being really goofy. And that's what we get here, because when you play Batman Arkham Asylum, City, and Night, like, they're just very perfectly honed single player games. And then this, like, you saw what happened to Anthem. You saw what happened to Division, or Division did okay, but
Hold on.
Remember all these games like Anthem and Avengers?
I got to rewind this because you have Boomerang shooting a tank. Like there's Shark.
I don't know who Boomerang
King
is.
Shark.
I guess he
Boomerang
doesn't use guns.
They're shooting a tank, and I don't know. But again, people that are playing this behind the scenes are saying it's not very good, not very fun, and it begs me to ask: do you think that this game outside of polish, because that's what they're saying, they need more time to polish, and they've moved the release dates once a month after the initial release date, and now it's being moved till later in 2023. There's no actual date given. Do you think that there's more outside of just polish? Do you think that they're going to change things up a bit, or do you think it's too late for that?
Well, I've been told people have told me when I brought that up that there's no way they're going to change the core game. But I'm like, if they're going to give themselves another year or so, could it be that the team's going to be like, okay, here's the main problem. Everybody's in the conference room. Nobody likes the looter shooter service-based thing. What can we do to salvage this? We're going to lose, a few $1 million. And the team's like, we can pare back. That's what I'm wondering. The team's like, can we just pare back a lot of that stuff, and try and make it more of a focused, 15-hour campaign or co-op campaign? And then the team's going to be like, not really. Like that's all the systems are based on that. But the unfortunate part about game development taking 5 to 6 years is this game was well cemented into what it is before Anthem and before Avengers and those games like that completely floundered.
Yeah.
Hold on. I got to fix Red 410 in the chat said that you and I are lying frauds, that D's the only one who keeps it real. Red, go watch my last video a week or two ago about how I explained that the Xbox Series X is not delivering because Microsoft's made poor decisions. They are supposed to be supporting developers and they're not doing it. And developers don't even have the time to finagle with Xbox's extra effort.
Well,
I explained how Xbox has a big problem. I don't know if we're going to talk about tech in this.
No.
We're talking about Suicide Squad.
He's upset
Red,
because
just pay attention, bro. I mean,
he's upset
when you
because
upload something, it's literally cemented there for you to be informed.
Yeah.
So,
again, they don't listen completely, but
so
he's
back to the Suicide Squad thing. Like, is
Colt,
it fixable?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I'm just saying that he's upset because he seems to think that the Series S just lacks in so much power that it can't run these games.
He's not informed.
And here's what I have to say to that. Then how do you explain Horizon Forbidden West and God of War Ragnarok on the PS4?
Yeah.
I'll wait. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
That's
or explain how amazing they are on the PS5.
The problem it comes down to with the Series S is that the fact that there's 2 SKUs there with the Xbox, and they need more time. The developers just need more time to develop for both of these platforms. And
there's also a major DX12 problem that's going on with PC and Xbox. Like you've even got people saying that the PS5 is running games better than a mid PC, which is like $1,500 to $2,000. It's like, huh? And you scratch your head and it's like, what's not adding up? It's like, well, there's a problem with DX12. Yeah. There's a problem with developers. There's also an advantage of the port versions of PS5, where they have far less work to do. And when you have far less work to do, you can get better performance. Yeah. It's not what we expected. Yeah, it's totally not what we expected.
I'm not a tech guy, but this is what a lot of tech guys out there have told me behind the scenes and everything. And I'm not talking just about the guys in the community. I'm talking about guys that really work on this stuff. Some developers out there. So
yes, Fonz and I have been talking to people, and there's stuff that we have to kind of hold on for now. Yeah, and I'm not just talking to Red, like we're talking to everybody listening, right? Yeah. Because I've been on Ecstasy Podcast, my show that runs tomorrow night. I've been talking on that show and other people's shows and in my videos about what I'm not happy with Xbox. Like Fonz and I have been talking about the games, the delays, the release dates, the performance issues. We've made our voices known, and we've actually reached out to people who are going to be taking notes or making changes. So,
I don't want to spend any more time on this.
No, we're ready to talk about Suicide Squad because I still think this game looks sort of fun. I hope it doesn't completely die.
Here's the thing, though. You say it looks sort of fun to you, and the people in the chat that it looks sort of fun to. Are you just a fan of that looter shooter genre, or? because that's what you're getting here. I mean, this doesn't seem like some type of heavy narrative campaign game.
Oh, no.
It seems like this is a game you play with your friends. And if you're into that, cool. But you know me, I like my single player campaigns more than I do co-op.
Yeah.
And I play co-op every now and then, but it's just, I love playing.
Oh, when
solo.
you and I played Gotham Knights co-op, we had so much fun. I did not expect it to be that great, but
yeah, no,
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
So what do you think, Fonz? Do you think that they're going to try and strip out some of the egregious looter shooter stuff and try to provide a more focused?
I think it's too late, bro. If they're just saying it's coming out later this year, changing complete mechanics.
Jeff Grubb says he thinks they're actually really going to push it to 2024, and they're not going to tell anybody yet.
Yeah, if they do that,
that's why I wondered.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about that part of development with a studio. I would love to hear someone's take on that. Like, can you start stripping out all the egregious bloat and try and make it, or do you end up just coming up with a game that doesn't do that much because there's not enough content in there and you've got all this gear that's all mathematically calculated into where you are in the world and how far you are on levels? Like, there's a lot of systems going on.
Yeah. Well, Pragmatic Eagle, he says he was never interested in Suicide Squad. Neither was I. The first time I heard this was announced, Fonz. I was not.
Put up a poll. The people love polls. Put up a poll and say how you could say something like, "Were you interested in Suicide Squad before?" Or you could just ask them how they feel about it now. But I think most people would say, "Nah." But it is kind of to try and find a poll that's interesting is fun for the chat, right, chat? You guys like to vote on crazy stuff like that, but
I can't even spell, guys. This is
I can't. When I type polls when we're doing the show, I'm the worst typer because I'm trying to multitask. But
all right, I put up a poll out there. Okay.
Will you buy?
Will you buy Suicide Squad?
I'm gonna vote yes because I think I'm gonna end up just buying it and just roll the dice on it, and I'll have $70 regret. Maybe you'll join me.
Maybe you'll join me. No,
look at the votes already.
Hey, when it came to Gotham Knights, I wasn't buying it. And then it was you, it was Zocker, it was some other people that were telling me, hey, the game is really fun. Try it out.
Rand was surprised.
Yeah, Rand. And then
and it was worth it.
So then I went to this website where I found it cheap and I picked it up and I was like, oh, I like it. It's decent. Even though 30 frames kind of killed it.
This in your... Yeah, I played it on PC. Void Rat says the only looter shooter I'm interested in remotely is Arc Raiders, and we saw that at last year's Gamescom,
and then it disappeared.
And then it's kind of disappeared. But I agree, Void Rat. That one looks really cool too.
Arc Raiders, was that?
It was like the Destiny / was
that for PlayStation 5, or they had some deal with it or something?
Maybe, but it's a multi-plat.
It's a marketing. I think they've got the marketing deal. I think
might have been on.
It looked really cool though.
Anyway,
it looked really cool.
Everything looks cool until the ball drops, right? Yeah.
Unfortunately, let's move on from this. Let's go and talk about the Starfield delay, Colt.
How dare you use that word? The broken promise.
Well, this is the real controversy I was talking about at the beginning. First off, it's going to be coming out September 6th of this year. And boy, did I nail that freaking date.
You did.
I nail that date. I told people it'd be September. Now, here's what I said. I said September 5th. Okay. I said it'll be September 5th because naturally most games come out on a Tuesday. 5th is on a Tuesday. And then they threw a curveball in and put it out on a Wednesday, which is weird.
You're still right.
But I still nailed it because I will be playing this at 9 p.m. on the West Coast on the 5th. So I nailed it. But I was happy to nail that date because honestly, Colt, I didn't think it was going to make the June cutoff or whatever people were, talking about that 12-month window.
I did, but I was more hopeful than thought. And you and I always, you were always right on September. And I was really mostly on September, but I just held out that hope because Jez was like, I heard it's going to drop in June or maybe be pushed to July. And I was like, I didn't talk to Jez, but I was like, there's no way this epic game is dropping in July in the no zone of game sales. But gosh dang, can we talk about how much better Starfield looks?
Well, no, first I want to talk about this though.
Well, I gotta follow your show.
Yes, Colt. The community was pretty divided, okay, regarding the release date. And one of those things, one of the reasons why they were divided was some were in the camp that this was a delay, while others were saying, you know, it wasn't. What camp are you in there?
I'll ask me again. Like you're asking about
was it a delay to you? That's what I'm asking.
I'm in the camp that says it's a delay, but I'm also in the camp that's not going to throw a fit because, for one thing, I can't go to Maryland and choke, Todd and say, "How dare you break a promise?" The other part is the game is about 2.5 months past the deadline. But what are you going to do? Like, if Xbox like sat down with Todd and said, "All right, it's do or die. Are you gonna withhold your promise that we made for 12 months, or are we going to delay the game and have it, just right?" And Todd told the team September's when we've got it ready the way it's supposed to be. But the other part is, I heard this on another show, but I think I've said this a couple times. I truly believe that if Bethesda was independent, they would have already released Starfield, maybe by March or June. And because of Xbox, I think Xbox has kind of pinned him down and said, "You're not going to become the next Halo Infinite." And they told that to Redfall team. They told that to, look, the Redfall shirt with the wiener.
How do you know they told that to the Redfall team?
I think they did because we've watched, we haven't seen a lot of delays for Bethesda. So I think Xbox said, "We strongly suggest you take the extra time." And if it came down to the asking developers, "Look, how much more time do you need?" "Well, we're ready in June, but if we went like in the fall or late summer, like it would be really solid." And Xbox, like, "We're not going through Halo Infinite again. When you're ready, you give us your release date." And I think that's where we're at, which is a good thing, really good thing.
And some people are actually thinking that maybe, just maybe, they delayed this to try to polish up maybe a performance mode.
Maybe. Let's hold that thought for a second, because we got Jedi Knight Peter in the chat. I love the guy. So great.
Jedi Knight's a good
love
guy.
Talking to him. Like he just brings a smile to my face, and he's also really good friends with another guy in the community that I really like, Risk It for the Biscuit, and we've like kind of argued back and forth about the holding the Xbox to their promise. And since I'm on a mic, like it'd be a good time to say, like, I love you, Risk It, and it's okay if you and I argue. I would never have bad feelings for like this community where we're all amazing. I love this community. And he DM'd me and I'm like, "Oh man, I'm not even mad at the guy." And it's okay. Yeah. It's totally okay. Cause you set up this part of the show, Fonz, about how people were split about how they feel about the delay. Of course. And I'm upset with Xbox.
I'm disappointed.
I'm disappointed.
I'm disappointed. Yes. I'm disappointed that the game itself is delayed. I'm disappointed that it's delayed. But here's the thing. When they did this 12-month show, Colt,
there you go.
They said that it was targeted for 12 months. They didn't give exact timeline. Like they said, these games are targeted within the next 12 months. But here's the problem. Microsoft set expectations by doing so, right? They did that.
Yes.
They didn't make any promises. I don't agree with that. But it is still technically a delay.
Wow, you're kind of like right on the middle, kind of on the fence, which I am as well, Fonz. You and I are both disappointed. We both want to hold Xbox accountable, but we both have like a massive understanding. And I think like Risk It as well, but he's really strong about how we need to make sure they don't do this again. And I feel that too.
I don't think this is a problem necessarily to point at Xbox or even Bethesda. I think this is a situation where they just needed more time. If you look at, just look around the industry, about every game has been delayed the last 4 years. And I'm talking AAA.
Let me put it in perspective and the chat is kind of split too. And they're being super super respectful as well, which
Yeah,
is
that's
amazing.
what I like to see. I get the best chat in the world. I'm sorry.
You do. You do. Let me remind you guys that Xbox didn't completely make this promise or set this expectation when they went and prepared for E3. I would assume, let's say in January of 2022, before E3, they went to all their developers and said, we're putting together a show. They didn't even know Redfall and Starfield were going to be delayed by then. But they said, let's do this 12-month thing because they knew there was like kind of this gap in the beginning before the flood of games comes in because it's taken this long. Let me throw in one more thing that Xbox, since they acquired these studios, they were in a situation where they were making multi-plats and PlayStation exclusives from Xbox Game Studios. And we had to endure that for the first 2 years and first 3 years of the Series S and X console generation, right? Deathloop, Ghostwire Tokyo, Psychonauts 2, Wasteland 3, Wasteland 2, Wasteland 3. Shoot, I can't remember. Anyway, I'm sorry, I don't want to go on a tangent. So they knew they were kind of in this like little gap moving forward, that there was going to be this little void that they had to fix. And so marketing said, let's just do 12 months. And so I'm so sorry I just rambled, but when I'm trying to get to the point, here's the package point. Xbox went to their developers, says, we want to do 12 months. Who's ready? Who's in the 12-month window? And all those games you saw, those 35 games you saw, all those developers told Microsoft, yeah, I think we can be in there before middle of June 2023. And Xbox said, great. Awesome. You sure? Yeah, we're good. We're good. Yeah, we can be out in a year and 6 months, right? Yeah, we're good. But the problem is developers,
things happen.
Things happen. And Xbox can't go, gosh dang it, gosh, Erebon Shadow Legacy, or I don't even know who the studio is, but their game looks cool. Little third-person game. Gosh dang it, you told us you'd be ready by June. Where's your release date? Like, we're not ready, and releasing broken kind of sucks. So that's what I want. I'm sorry, I talked too much.
Because it's Bethesda. I'm not mad. Like it's just, it doesn't seem necessarily like an Xbox problem in this case. Had it been, say, 343 or some other studio we've heard, that there's inner turmoil, I would have, been a little bit more upset. Like, Xbox, come on, get with it. But Bethesda, like, I don't know. I think that's why I give them more of a pass. And I'm looking at this. It's only a little more than 2 months, the delay. It's not a big deal. I don't typically, they don't typically put out games in the summertime, so it makes sense not to drop it in the summer. There's a lot of people on vacation and stuff, although I would play it in the summer. So would many other people, but it's just not something that you put a big game out in during the summer. But here's an interesting thing I want to bring up. Hargeet Shani with a $5 super chat. Thank you very much, Hargeet. He says, just curious, and this is a point of contention that I was going to bring up as well. Are you disappointed more because of the game being delayed, or is it because of the console war fodder that Xbox has another delay? Because I feel that many Xbox guys, including PlayStation guys, it's the latter. For me, it's the game.
For me, it's the console war.
Oh, gosh.
I'll be honest, because
I'm not.
I don't. I want to play Starfield as soon as possible, but not if it's going to be in a worse shape than it would launch, which it would be if it was launched earlier, right? But then it's one thing to not deal. It's one thing to deal with the game not being in my hands sooner, right? I can get over that pretty quickly. But the console war persists day in and day out, meaning the people who are going to bag on me. I have a Xbox. I have a YouTube thumbnail from 2021 that says Starfield 2022. Before it was delayed. Anybody can go to that and say, you lied, you're wrong, you're never right, and as an Xbox fan who's been waiting a long time for big games from these acquired studios since 2018 or 19,
same,
that we have to endure that every day. You can play other games while you wait for Starfield, but people will
we've got
be the way they are in
we've got so many games to play. And if if by chance that ABK deal goes through by May, by June, you could have Diablo 4 in Game Pass day one. That's another big one. But we've got games to play. Regardless if the ABK deal doesn't go through, you still have Diablo 4 to play in June. You've got other games. It's not like we're stuck there going, man, what are we going to do from now until then? We ain't got any games. There's plenty of games to play. Plenty. Jedi Knight Peter, thank you very much for the super chat. He says, they should have never had that 12-month window. It was unnecessary and ended up being a self-own. I agree 100% with that. I did not like the 12-month window when they did it. When they did it initially, I thought, okay, first off, you're putting that expectation that, yeah, these games are all going to come out on time. But also, it's the other side of it. I see it as being, I want to look at games that are way out sometimes. I don't care if there's...
I do too.
I like to be excited about games that are coming even 3-4 years from now. PlayStation does it all the time, and they get away with it.
And Xbox had done it a little bit recently, before
I like it. As long as they don't get canceled or whatever, it's fun to see games that are in development. Like, I like that sort of thing. The 12-month window, I don't like it. I think
part of the marketing energy is to have like a big theme or a big like takeaway, take home point. And last E3, like 2021 or 2020, was all these games you can play in Game Pass. Like that was the thing you took home. Like somebody's like, hey, what was at the E3 show? It was like 34 games and all of them are in Game Pass. Like that was the thing that was burned. They burned that in over and over. And this last one was all these games and that you can play in the next 12 months. That was the marketing target. That was the marketing call to action that they had. And I'm not quite sure about, I know that a lot of like you and our close friends are all like, I hope they never do that again. And I always thought it was such a great thing because typically Xbox's E3s, way more than PlayStation's, are here's the games that are coming before next E3. But they've never said that because back in the day, I used to make a E3 report video. And I used to do a lot of PlayStation versus Xbox videos, and I stopped doing those. But it used to be like all these games on and in the green column are coming out or are set to come out before the next E3 showing. So you won't see these again. These are all like, you're going to play these in the next 12 months. And then PlayStation is like, oh, these games are coming out. The rest are coming out far later. Microsoft's always done that, but I guess.
But you got to understand it from this point of view. You're putting pressure on those developers to get those games ready by then. And
they agreed to it.
I understand that. I understand that, but
Fonz, we never fight, right? We never argue.
Okay,
right?
So yeah, we never do. I always agree with Colt. Anytime Colt or my daddy dealer tells me to say something, it doesn't make sense.
Somebody was saying that this morning, guys. We don't want to like do inside joke, but this morning on like Twitter, so other people who are there could see it. They were like, you never disagree with Colt, and Colt never did, or something like that. Dude, we argue all the time. Yeah, we hate each other. But go ahead.
Exactly. No. I was going to say, I don't like putting that pressure on the developer. I think if they need more time, they should be granted more time. And people out there should not get upset at them if they need more time. I just feel that way, strongly feel that way. Why doesn't any other game that sets a release date that gets delayed, why don't they get crap for it? Why don't they start going after, say when Ragnarok was delayed? Why isn't Sony getting crap for that?
I mean, wasn't there a little bit of that? Like they had the big, the logo went around and it said 2021. And I
think
people we were like, that's not coming out that soon.
I honestly think, and it's getting kind of tiresome, but Xbox is constantly like, it's been the cool thing to just bag on Xbox all the time. And it's just weird. Like, I'm not even in these console wars. I could care less about these big corporations, but at the end of the day, I see what I see. And it seems like people just love to bag on Xbox and they love to keep them down and see them being miserable. And it's just dumb. We're gamers at the end of the day. We should want the best from these companies.
I know, but I mean, I'm not oblivious to the fact that Xbox's biggest games or their brand new IPs have still not, all the way come out. Like they've only had one here or there. Like they're a few years behind Nintendo and PlayStation, who also experienced delays. But someone said like, what AAA new IPs has Xbox put out in the past 6 years? And I'm like, well, a couple, but some of them aren't AAA. But yeah, I mean that is a difference. But they're all coming. Somebody wouldn't like goat me with that. They didn't know there was an onslaught of Avowed and Starfield and all these games that are coming out. Redfall. Then they'll just move the goalpost somewhere else. But no, they're not really exclusive. They're on PC.
I just think it's pretty silly. Anytime, and this goes back many years, man. For me, before I was ever on YouTube, before I did any podcast, I've always been the type of gamer where if a delay was announced, I was like, okay, it's disappointing, but I'm not going to get mad at it. Like, I'm not going to go to the developers and go, hey, you better put that game out. You lied to me. You promised and all this stuff. Like, I don't have that kind of energy for that stuff. These guys are putting in a lot of work in these games these days. Why am I going to get mad about it? I don't know how to do that. Like,
I don't know how to finish that game.
If what they're like, okay, come on over, you finish it, and I just screw things up. Now, I just think it's silly. It's just dumb to get really mad at developers or even a corporation or publisher. It doesn't make sense to me. It's just let them work, let the developers do their thing, put out a game that's less buggy than it would have been if they just put it out there. And a lot of people, and this is the scary part, a lot of people are out there saying they could just put it out. I'll deal with the bugs. They could fix it. They could patch it. I'm like, no. Did you see Cyberpunk? Did you see Cyberpunk on last gen consoles? Terrible. Unplayable.
Yeah. And I mean, I finished Atomic Heart 2 weeks ago, and it just got a really big patch that fixed a whole bunch of stuff. And I'm like, gosh dang, I need to quit playing games day one. I need to quit finishing them so quickly. And Gotham Knights just got a patch like 3 days ago where it runs at a locked 30 instead of a wavering 30. And that's just the name of the game.
Yeah. I want to get through some of these super chats. Cerebral Assassin, thank you very much for the 99 cents there. That's, I can go to the dollar store. I'm happy. No,
the $1.25 store.
Cerebral Assassin again, $5 super chat. He says, for me, games not been out. It's okay. I have a bunch of games I haven't touched, so that gives me time to finish these. Too many games? ? Xbox. What up, Colt? You think there's too many games on Xbox, Colt? I don't think there's enough. There'll never be enough for me. I want games upon games. I want a backlog. Dang it.
There's like 1,000 games coming to Xbox in 2023, but as far as those big ones, no, there will be a problem. Actually, there's a lot more coming. There's a lot more coming.
And I got another one here from Mark Cox. He says, thank you very much for the super chat, by the way. He says, I love the 12-month show. I hate E3 where they show a game coming out in 4 years. Who cares? What can I play this year? Plus, games that get announced years in advance still get delayed. So give Microsoft a break. No, you're not wrong about that. But at the end of the day, I'm just talking about what I personally like. I love how PlayStation has, promoted games even 4 years out. I've always loved that. I've always got super excited for their games. I mean, They showed Wolverine back in was it 2020 or before?
2021, I think.
Yeah.
Chad will have to help us out. Yeah.
I'm not sure, but I don't expect that game out until 2025, maybe the earliest 2024 holiday, but I like it.
I think Insomniac's pretty much hinted at 25, but either way, it's Spider-Man 2 is coming out in 6 months.
Did you have a problem with them showing a CGI trailer for Fable Xbox? I mean,
I wanted to see. I really wanted to see what the game looks like, and we still haven't. But
by the way, that poll that I put out earlier, will you buy Suicide Squad?
Oh boy,
it's a resounding no. at 87%.
Yeah, gosh. And you can see why they're going back. They know, I mean, they haven't even put up pre-orders for that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm sure there's ways for them to gauge something like that poll for projected sales, and they're probably seeing a 12%. Yes, I want to buy the game somewhere else that actually really matters besides a little poll. But
yeah, hold on. I've got
bummer.
I don't want to miss this. How far back does that go? My program that I use, it's so hard to, I found it. Danny Passion Official, thank you very much for celebrating 2 months of membership here. He says, good to see you guys podcasting together again. I agree with Fonz. If Xbox does it, it's bad. If Sony does it, it's good. But yeah, it seems like it's fine if Sony does it, right? It's not just Sony. It's there's double standards everywhere. I just think it comes down to a lot of people out there just love to bag on Xbox, and it's just the way I see it, man. And they deserve some of it. They do. But in cases like this, I don't think so, man. I really don't. Anyways, I don't want to be too negative. I want to get into some positive stuff about Starfield. Excuse me. I'm not feeling good today, but I'll get through this. Todd Howard. After I played that trailer, we saw Todd Howard speaking a bit on it. Did you get excited for anything he said? Well, honestly, hold up. Let me see if I can pull that up real quick. Let's listen to him first, okay?
I love that you could do that on the show.
From myself and everybody here at Bethesda, we are so excited to finally tell you when Starfield is coming out this year. You know, we have poured ourselves into this game, and even I'm surprised how much we can pour. It is large. We're playing the game all the time. Shout out over here to lead producer Tim Lamb. Old school fans,
can you pause
may
it right
remember
now?
him from.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, if we keep going, we'll kind of miss some stuff.
Yeah.
So let me kind of interview you, Fonz, because I know you're so excited. When Todd says we poured so much into this, and I can't believe how much we can pour into this game, how do you feel when he says that?
I feel like these guys put their blood, sweat, and tears into this game. I feel that this is one of those games like Skyrim, like Elder Scrolls, that Todd is really just, it's his baby. This is his game. This goes back 25 years in the making for Todd. Todd has been thinking about this game for 25 years. This is not something that they're just, nonchalantly saying, oh, let's just make a crappy sci-fi game. Or was told, you guys are going to make a sci-fi RPG. Now, go do it. No, this is something that he really wanted to do for many years. He finally decided, hey, we're at the point with consoles now, with platforms, with PC, whatever, where I can make this game a reality. Because back in the day, he says he couldn't, but now he can. So it's got me really excited for what they are going to give us here. I agree. I feel when he says poor, like they all really want to make this amazing. And I believe them when he says it. Fragula74 in the chat says, how do they make searching containers so compelling? And I know what he's talking about. Like you're just going into a container to grab items, but Bethesda games make you feel an itch or an urge to grab items that you desperately need to survive or to build up, or you're going to take these home when you get done with this area. You're going to take them back to your base and you're going to do something amazing with them. So I remember the first time
going in and picking a room is so satisfying.
On that point, I remember the first time I played Morrowind on the OG Xbox. That's what got me into Bethesda games. Like that Morrowind, I sunk so many hours into. I remember the first time I walked into a place and I saw a book and I picked it up and I opened it. And I thought, because I can pick it up and I opened it, it's important. I got to keep it with me. And I
did that with Skyrim.
You don't have to keep all this. You don't have to keep all this crap. I mean, there would be lore and stuff within,
but 18 books because
I thought I needed it. I was like, this is going to be important. I can't wait to,
I open it up and it gives me some XP. I'm like, wow, I better keep this in my backpack for 1,800 hours.
Yeah. But it's kind of the joy you get in a Bethesda game. It's that immersion that's unlike the other games out there.
It's such an interactive world. All right, go ahead and keep doing your show.
Yeah.
Let's go for the next
The
part.
Oblivion making of video where he's sitting on a similar sofa doing similar things.
By the way, real quick, since he's talking about that one gentleman there, earlier when he started talking, he was saying how big this world is going to be, like how big this is going to be for us. It's huge. And that has got me so freaking excited. And it was because of those statements right at the beginning that I made that little intro at the beginning of the show. Guys, if you came in late, I made a tiny little intro where I was pretending to do sort of an audio log in space, talking about my time and what I'm doing, my mission. It was
My space underwear is wrinkled over.
space fruit of the looms. They're wrinkled. Yeah.
They're made out of aluminum foil.
They're wrinkled. Damn. Gotta go to laundry day and, gotta go to that plant and do laundry.
That would be pretty cool. Like
do you
you
think
do
there's gonna be
laundry in
tinfoil
space,
underwear
right?
in Starfield, bro?
Just imagine how uncomfortable that would be. Tinfoil underwear. Just the noise
I'm gonna
alone.
try it after the show. I'm gonna try it. I'll post pictures. Hey, shout out to Gaz in the
please don't.
chat, by the
Please
way.
don't. What's up, Gaz? Good to see you, buddy.
Yeah.
Love Gaz. I'll hit him with one of these. Gaz!
Oh, I'll help out Red in the chat as well because he's new here, but he said that Xbox their studios aren't proven. We already did the math. Their games are exactly rated the same as PlayStation's on OpenCritic or Metacritic. So and then he said they need to start putting out as many games as PlayStation. By the end of the year, they'll have the exact same amount of first party games this entire generation, which I think is 17 or 16 apiece. So it's really good time. So like some of that bickering, whatever.
I'm really
but these games are going to be amazing.
I'm really humbled and thankful. I have 345 people watching live. Thank you very much. And I know you're all here for Colt Eastwood. But if you can, hit that like button, please. It would help out the show tremendously. Share it out. I really would like to grow this show a bit more, but I'm having a blast here. We're watching the announcement for the release date with Todd Howard, and we're going over just a little bit of what he talks about here. And then we'll be moving on to other topics as well.
What? So who was this that said in your chat?
What happened?
So Gaz says, yo, the guy in the middle. And what was the other guy? Oh, Bionic Wolf says the guy in the middle. Bionic Wolf says the guy in the middle died years ago. Like he looks like he's transparent.
Yeah. Whoa.
It really does.
That
he's
is,
like, peace, I'm out.
That is crazy. He's like, and he just disappears.
He died during the development of Starfield. It took so long. That was inappropriate. All right, go ahead and play, bro.
That's a real
transparent, bro.
That's an Xbox gamer right there. He's been waiting so long for games. He's gone.
Okay, I want to play. I got to see what's going on with that.
This June, we're going to bring you into the studio and give you a deep dive in the game at our Starfield Direct. There's so much that we still have to show you. The game has
still has so much to show us. Like, yeah, for sure, there's things that are going to be shown that we're going to kind of some familiar things from other Bethesda games, right? But there's going to be some new stuff here that he's teased, and I want to know what those new mechanics are. I want to know.
The hallmarks that you'd expect from us.
Go ahead.
I'm not excited about the lock picking mechanic. I'm bummed about that. That does not look enjoyable to me. Where you rotate the segments into three pieces, which you just did that in a game. What game had a lock?
Atomic Heart.
Kind of like Atomic Heart. Yeah, I've never liked the look of that Starfield lock picking.
I've never liked lock picking in any game.
Oh, I love it in Fallout and Dying Light and Skyrim. I love that mechanic.
Care for it. I don't care for it. But yeah, let's go.
But it's
Colt.
Also,
God, you're over there just ranting and raving. I don't like lock picking. It's round and we got to turn it. And, no.
A very unique experience. And again, thank you all for all of your excitement about the game, your support, your comments. We really do read it all.
That's where he hit block on Colt Eastwood right there.
Yeah. I also like that Todd's not reading off a teleprompter for a lot of this. You can tell that he was just like, I just got to say this. I decided I want to say this in the moment, but go ahead.
Yeah. But yeah, he blocked you definitely right there. He's like, Colt Eastwood,
ray trace.
block.
He blocked me for the lockpick comment. Go ahead.
We know you've waited a long time to play something new from us. Believe it or not, we're kind of the same. We miss it, and we really just can't wait for you all to play it. So thanks, and we'll see you soon.
And you know what? I freaking love the music.
Oh, yeah.
I freaking
Well, it's
love the
Enon
music.
Sur. He's amazing.
And this is just my gameplay of Wolong, guys. Has nothing to do with Starfield, but I don't have the game to play yet. So if you're listening, Bethesda, I would love early access. I would love to play the game. I would love to test it out, and I would do a review and everything for you. I promise you, I would.
Of course you would.
But yeah, I'm excited for the game, man. You know, what has you most excited for this game, man, for Starfield?
A couple things. Going out in space and shooting, doing like the space combat and customizing that ship, but mostly just getting out there on foot and exploring. I'm such a big, everybody's sci-fi fan, right? But I am so interested in the cosmos and the galaxy and everything. I did a whole video about like the actual science behind space travel and just being on an alien planet and exploring around and then going to a different system and finding different things. Like just that free form Bethesda exploration has me so excited because I actually think the main story where you find these magic space anomalies will be interesting, but I've never loved the main story in Skyrim, Fallout 3, or Fallout 4. Those main quests, that main narrative is the lowest part of the entire experience. I always like, just let me back out there and let me do my thing. So I'm really looking forward to just exploring and grabbing all those things for my ship and my base.
And I'm sure you would agree with this too, but it's that moment when you step outside for the first time that gets you in pretty much all their games, man, the single player games anyway. The Oblivion, when you came out of the sewers and you saw that world, even though if you go back to it now, you're like, man, that looks pretty crappy nowadays, but back then it just was amazing on the 360. It blew me away. I was like, I can go over there. Holy crap. And I'd go over there and I'd check it out and get my ass handed to me by something out way over there. But it was fun. It was exciting. It was so immersive. I love immersion.
Well, I mean, but the games. Bethesda games, all of them except Fallout 76, which was a reskin of an old Fallout 4 game. It's just, I mean, even Bethesda kind of acts like they didn't make it. They like basically excuse it all the time, but every game is epic. And anybody who has this like, well, we just got to see if it's good, it could flop. We got to, it'd sell more on PlayStation. Like this is nonsense speak. Just pay attention. When a Bethesda game like this launches, it is a big deal. I'm going to say something very, very bold.
Go ahead.
Tears of the Kingdom Zelda is going to be the highest rated game of 2023, no doubt. Probably. And it'll probably be one of the highest selling games. But Starfield will be the most talked about, the most popular, and the most enduring game that comes out this year and for a few years to come. It's going to be a big deal. And people who are doubting that have not been paying attention to what Bethesda Softworks has been doing over the past 20 to 25 years. Starfield's going to be a big deal. And it's going to be on Steam. It's going to be on Windows PC. It's going to be on Xbox Series S and X. It's going to be on xCloud. People will be able to play it on their phone if they want to. It's going to be a big deal. And there's going to be a lot of people playing and talking about it.
And Crispy Bomb in the chat, he says, nah, I heard the passion in Todd's voice during that statement. He's being genuine. That's kind of the way I feel about this game. Every time Todd has talked about this game, I've said this for years now. Every time he's, been interviewed over this game, he's always exuded that passion for it. That's what changes it for me. When he was talking about back in the past before Fallout 76 came out, it was different. That was a different Todd. There was no passion behind what he was saying. And I know a lot of people out there were talking about the 16 times the detail thing. And a lot of people don't trust him anymore because he said, 16
Well,
times
I mean,
the detail,
he was absolutely technically right, but he was just using buzz terms. It was
Yeah.
There was 16 times anitropic filtering, which who cares? But he used it as a 16 times the detail thing. He shouldn't have, because the game looks far worse than Fallout 4.
Yeah.
For many reasons. It took visual downgrades, like big visual degradation, in order to make that map like 5 times bigger or whatever.
And everybody loves to bring that game up, Fallout 76, when I talk glowingly
I don't
about
like it.
But here's the thing. I never wanted to play it. I never tried it because it was one of those games that I didn't even want to play. As a Bethesda fan, I was like, oh, that's multiplayer. I don't want to do that. Yeah. I want to explore the world on my own. So
you can. I've got like 40
it.
to 50 hours in it, and I don't like it. And but the funny thing is, it's a huge success. It's got millions of people that are always playing it. It's a huge success, and it's a flop, I guess. I don't know.
Yep.
Whatever.
Yep. Mark Cox again. Thank you very much for the super chat. Let me readjust this. I keep messing it up. Problems. Anyways, he says, do you think the ponies will spam Metacritic? Okay. By ponies, do you mean the Sony gamers out there? Do you think they'll spam Metacritic with bad reviews for Starfield? Oh. Of course, it happens all the time. Yeah. Fanboys will do this stuff on both sides. I've seen it with Xbox guys. I've seen it with Sony guys. I've seen it with Nintendo guys.
Like, you won't see it on a multi-plat unless it's got a massive controversy behind it. But yeah, I'm sure an exclusive will get some of that. But
yeah, that's going to happen. But no, I'm truly excited for the game. Anyways, I had to clear my throat. Forespoken sales are lackluster, Colt.
Boy.
We learned that long ago, not long ago, but a couple weeks back, that Luminous Productions, the guys behind the game, that they were absorbed back into Square Enix, okay? Relieving them of their creative freedom, basically. Yeah. Remember when they, were out doing that? I guess they were named something else when they did Final Fantasy 15. They're the guys that did that. And that wasn't
they
so
weren't
hot.
named Luminous Productions?
No, they were named something else. Gosh, I can't remember the name.
You mean
it doesn't matter.
The core Square Enix team didn't make Final Fantasy 15?
No, it was the guys from Luminous, but they were under a different name.
Okay.
And so after this second outing with another game here, Forespoken, they just failed to deliver an experience that gamers enjoyed. And the sales apparently are lackluster, according to Square Enix themselves. This is what they released, and they said that the game has been challenging and other, challenging with perception for the game and all that. And it's like, of course, like after the demo, lots of people were just like, "Oh, this is not on my day one anymore. It's gone. I'm not buying this game day one."
Yeah.
There are people out there that have enjoyed it, and I believe them. There, of course, there's the fanboys out there that'll always, lie for their games and stuff. But there are people that genuinely, they're capping for their games. But there are people that I know personally that genuinely like the game, think it's decent. It's not the best thing, but they're having fun with it. And that's cool. I don't, that's your thing. If you like a game, you like a game, but for the most part, most gamers don't, though. That's just, objectively true. And it's sad. And the question I wanted to ask you was of Square Enix themselves, because outside of the franchises like Final Fantasy and, outside of Final Fantasy, like what's going on with the Square Enix, especially the last, 5-6 years? It seems like every AAA game that they have put out, aside from Guardians of the Galaxy, which was a total surprise, has just kind of failed.
Which is unfortunate, because Guardians of the Galaxy is really top tier. It's like almost a 9. I don't know. There's just this problem. I think the gaming community as a whole is kind of getting tired of Square Enix's nonsense. Quit bashing your own studios. Quit talking down to gaming fans like we didn't support you enough. It's almost like if I put out a video and I'm like, why didn't you guys watch it more? Like, I need more views. You guys aren't watching my videos.
Oh, by the way,
what they sound
correction
like.
too. Yeah, I knew this too, Patrick, but he just wants to put it out there that even Guardians of the Galaxy was said to have sold below expectations.
Yeah,
So-
which you and I were ticked because we loved it.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, like everything that they're putting out aside from Final Fantasy is failing for them. And I don't know. I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm, I know they're still worth a lot because Final Fantasy 14 makes them a ton of revenue all the time. Because that's the online game they got going on. Final Fantasy 16 looks really good, looks really promising to me. I'm picking it up. I'm going to play the game because it looks really good to me. But again, outside of that franchise, we're not seeing anything great. Do you think that this is, are they going to get to the point where they may be looking for a buyer out there?
That talk's been going around. I mean, they sold their Western studios for such a low price. I just have this it's probably going to happen feeling that they're going to offer themselves to PlayStation for a ridiculously cheap price. But the head of Square Enix is a massive.
They're worth like
gaming
11 billion right now.
Oh no, yeah, PlayStation can't afford that. Never mind.
Yeah.
Next question. Next topic.
That's the thing. They're worth like 11 billion right now. And yeah, people were like, well, they can go get loans and stuff and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, true. But come on.
They can get it on layaway.
Yeah.
Fine.
Just,
Jim's
just
like,
put it aside.
what's Xbox buying? CMA. Can you just can we borrow some of that Microsoft money? Just kind of, put it over.
Speaking of good old Jim Loose Lips Ryan, I can't believe some of the stuff he's said lately, Colt. Now, earlier this week, I saw a tweet from the Activision executive, Lulu Chang, and she said that, hold on, I think I have the tweet here. Let me put this up on the screen. All right, this is the tweet here. This is apparently from Jim Ryan's own words when he flew to Brussels to talk to the CMA out there. He says, I don't want a new Call of Duty deal. I just want to block your merger. That's what apparently he told Lulu behind the scenes or Lulu and somebody else. But this is what she heard come from him. I thought that was pretty crazy because this doesn't sound like he wants to try to strike a deal at all. I mean, it's kind of obvious that he doesn't, but to the regulators, and let me play something here for you guys. To the regulators, I don't want to lose this. I'll find it. Anyways.
Are you going to play soccer?
No, that's not what I was looking for. That would have been silly, but yeah.
Oh, I thought this was
I got that. I got that right here.
Regulators.
Mount up. All right. So the regulators, that's different. But the thing is it doesn't sound like he wants to make the deal, and it just flies in the face of what they've been trying to prove to the CMAs, to all the regulators out there.
Regulators.
Mount up. And it's not looking well for his case to say something like that, or this to be leaked out there that he said this. Right? I mean,
yeah.
It's really weird. What do you think about that?
It's a really, Lulu's hilarious. She puts him on blast and just puts that quote that he probably said in a conference room or in a hallway, and she just like puts him on public notice. He's like,
I guess what I'm trying to say though is that
she was probably like, "Come on, Jimbo, like we're giving you the world. We're giving you more than like if anybody else bought Activision, they wouldn't be giving you Call of Duty." And Jim's like,
but Jim's whole point is he's trying to paint the picture that Microsoft's are the ones that aren't willing to play ball. Yeah, that's what he's trying to paint the picture here. That it's Microsoft bad. We're the good guys. Yeah. And here he is saying, well, we could have exclusives, but no exclusives for you. That's the way.
The problem is nobody nobody believes the nonsense anymore, except for the CMA and PlayStation executives. Everybody else is on board. No one believes that there's going to be a cloud monopoly because NVIDIA GeForce is already signed in and Nintendo is getting the game. Like, PlayStation's been offered the game for 10 years, which I think Xbox has every right to say just 10 years, because I think in 10 to 15 years, consoles could become very far less in style or in use as they are right now. We could be playing our games on demand.
I said that too.
Half of us around the world could be, because the infrastructure is going to be growing exponentially. And just say, hey, how about for the next 10 years? And maybe Xbox is looking forward to, in 10 years, their cloud on-demand ecosystem, the Netflix of gaming, will be the de facto place to play. And they're worried about that being a monopoly, but the only reason why they're worried is because they're not even ready. PlayStation is not ready. They weren't thinking that. Half of their counterparts are saying console is the way to go. Jim on the American side of PlayStation and Sony is like, we need to move beyond the console. We need to sell more than 20 million copies, which is phenomenal on an exclusive.
Yeah.
But he's like, why aren't we selling to everyone? Why aren't we selling on PC and other devices? When people buy them from us, we still make the money. We're still going to sell the console. And I ranted. But
well, you know what? Here's the thing, though.
PlayStation's wrong. That's
Truth Serum in the chat says it sounds pretty honest to him, what Jim is saying here. And it is. It is pretty honest. And I can understand from his perspective as the CEO of a competing platform, you want to try to stop the deal. I get that. But at the same time, the point is he was trying to paint the picture that Microsoft's are the bad guys and they're not willing to play ball with them. And matter of fact, he goes on to say, even furthermore, some craziness right here, Colt. And I'm going to read this. Microsoft might release a PlayStation version of Call of Duty where bugs and errors emerge only on the game's final level or after later updates. Even if such degradations could swiftly be detected, any remedy would likely come too late, by which time the gaming community would have lost confidence in PlayStation as a go-to venue to play Call of Duty. Indeed, as Modern Warfare 2 attests, Call of Duty is most often purchased in the first few weeks of release. If it became known that the game's performance on PlayStation was worse than on Xbox, Call of Duty gamers could decide to switch to Xbox for fear of playing their favorite game at a second-class or less competitive venue. Crazy talk here, people. He's basically essentially saying that Microsoft could deliberately put bugs in their version of the game. Colt.
Which, I mean, that just reeks of guilt. Reeks of guilt. Wow. But I really don't, I'm not going to sit here and subscribe to that PlayStation has purposely had the developers put bugs in an Xbox version. There's no way they're doing that. But to think that Xbox would do that is super, super weird, when Xbox and Microsoft have been like, gaming's for everyone. You play your games wherever you want. Hey, here's Call of Duty, competitor. We'll make money off of you. And who was it? Understanding77 in the chat said, if they listen to Xbox and follow them and sign this deal, PlayStation's going to make a lot of money. And Xbox will make a ton of money off of PlayStation. And then everybody gets to grow and everybody gets to get better games. But the whole thing is like, well, we don't want to sign the deal because at some point during the 10-year agreement, Xbox just pull Call of Duty away from us and then we'd be screwed. It's like, you don't sign a legal agreement and then pull the rug from under it without getting serious problems or a lawsuit.
Especially
if they sign on the dotted line, say, okay, Xbox, we'll take Call of Duty for the next 10 years. We're guaranteed to get it at least until then.
With parity. Yeah.
With parity,
yes,
which means
with parity.
PlayStation is extremely threatened and afraid because they can no longer rely on a near 100% install base of the biggest game in the world, which is Call of Duty. They can no longer rely on those very lucrative exclusive packs and expansion deals that they have been paying for over the past 10 years from PlayStation, which Xbox used to enjoy. they're going to lose that. Also, as Hargi Chani, who's watching the show and listening, he ran a calculation based on the CMA, said PlayStation told the CMA we could lose up to 15% of our platform buyers that we think out of all of our people, 15% might go and play the game on Xbox. And Hargi, who's amazing, he crunched the numbers. They would a $70 game, $15 a month or $10 a month for PlayStation Plus for that access to play online, multiply by blah, blah, blah. And it was like $110 million they'd lose. Here's the best part, Fonz. PlayStation is looking at a possibility of losing 3% of their annual revenue because of Xbox buying Call of Duty. And that scares the pants out of them. Just a mere 3%, Fonz, of their, what was it? 1.5 billion. I don't know. It's in my video.
Okay, so
from the other day.
So if it truly is only around 3%, then why is Jim implying that they may not have the revenue to make some of their games, their first party games, if they were to lose COD?
Jim Ryan said that, or someone at Sony said that they rely on Call of Duty sales so that they have revenue bolstered up to do their first party stuff. And I believe him, because every platform except for Nintendo, they don't really count, Xbox and PlayStation make more of their money off of games they don't own and they don't make. By the sheer number of games that come out. If you get, you say you get about 300 games per year that everyone's heard of on a PlayStation every year, right? Those 300, like, how many are exclusive? 8? Timed and first party out of 300. So by nature and by the number crunching, you're going to make most of your money off of multiplats. Then when you take all those multiplats and go, well, FIFA and Call of Duty and Minecraft are the biggest multiplats that make us the most money. If we're going to do a pie chart, we make most of our money off of those couple of games over there. And now we're going to lose that, but they're not losing it. They have
they're not losing the game, but yeah, they're paying Microsoft, the 30% of the price.
They have to pay Microsoft 30% plus. Now, that's something that Hargeet and I didn't crunch the numbers on. If you're still watching Hargeet, we should have thought about the 30% that they have to pay, which I think they always had to pay that. So that's why we didn't put it in, right?
Yeah,
I'm
just thinking
off the top of my head. They had to pay it to Activision anyway. The funny thing is, I don't know if this is in your next set of notes, but they also said, we want Xbox to sell off Call of Duty. They can have Activision. Is that where you're going next? I think it's a natural way to go. And
again, as I brought in last show, and somebody disagreed with me, but I'll bring this into it. I don't have it up right now, but last quarter, because this all, this goes into the mobile division as well. You know how Microsoft really wants to get in the mobile space. Mm-hmm. I said last show, Call of Duty Mobile makes more than Call of Duty on the PC and the console combined. And I'm talking about it makes more. And I looked at the numbers last quarter alone for Activision. Call of Duty for the two platforms made like $700 million for that quarter, which is huge. But Call of Duty Mobile made $830 million plus last quarter alone. Lots of people are playing Call of Duty Mobile and buying a lot of microtransactions all the time. And that's just the truth. That's just the facts. You can look it up.
Somebody was like, there's no way someone's playing Starfield on a mobile phone. I'm like, do you know how many people play Call of Duty Warzone and Fortnite?
And you got to think about it.
It's a Twitch shooter. They play it on their phone. It's super popular.
Most people have a phone. So essentially most people have a console. So that is the way I look at it. And this is what Microsoft's looking at. They'd stand to lose that much money off of that one game alone. Of course, they're not going to pay $69 billion and sell off Call of Duty. That's the cash cow, whether it be on mobile or console space or PC space.
I mean, Candy Crush is their cash cow, but yeah, I mean, there's no way. The funny thing is I pose like, who's going to huge.
I'm going to look that up.
I think it's $8 billion for Call of Duty is what some of the guesstimations were, that Call of Duty's worth $8 billion. Like, who's going to buy that? Like, if Xbox had to like put that in the garage sale before they could buy Activision, like, who's going to buy Call of Duty? And what's going to change? I think PlayStation just doesn't want their direct competitor, which is now Xbox, to have the Call of Duty power force on their side. Because if Tencent bought them or Amazon, the games would remain multiplat, but they just don't want Xbox to have that big buying power and that big name power. They want PlayStation to be the de facto place to play video games. And they just need to take the deal before it's gone. I'm surprised Xbox doesn't say, like, at this point, I wish Xbox would just say, look, here's the deal, take it or leave it, but this deal goes away in a week if you don't sign the deal. Sign it for 10 years, or we're saying, you know what, you don't get it at all. But they can't because the regulators go, but that's not fair.
So last year, both Candy Crush and Call of Duty Mobile made over $1 billion.
Candy Crush and what? Call of
Duty Mobile.
$1 billion per year?
Over $1 billion, yeah.
Are you looking at just mobile when you say Call of Duty?
Just yeah.
Jeez.
Mobile space.
Wow. NG, the atheist, says Call of Duty is worth $30 billion.
They're
with with the 5 developer studios they have. I think it's like 5 working on it. Yeah, I mean, who's going to buy that? Nobody. I don't think anybody's buying.
Yep. And that's just,
Tencent
it's Call of Duty mobile app revenue worldwide.
DISD has a really good super that is very timely.
Yeah, I got a bunch of supers to get to. I did not miss them. I've been saving them. We're going to talk to these. Okay, let's go with DI. What is it? DICIED? Decide?
Decide
D?
DICD would be good enough, I think. We love you.
DICD.
We'll get it.
I'm sorry about that. He's got a $5 super chat, and he says, I think Sony is afraid of losing money to money-had exclusives. For sure. Money-hatting marketing deals is huge for these companies, because what it does is what Sony has been doing with it is making people come to their platform, because that is where people have this perception that the game is best on. Just the fact that, hey, they got all this marketing deals and they've got special things that they offer that are exclusive to that version of the game that's on PlayStation. I think, what was it? Modern Warfare 2 had certain perks that you couldn't get on Xbox, and they were pretty big. Mm-hmm. XP boosts and all that stuff. It does change people's minds. It makes them go over to the other side if they're getting more for their buck. It makes sense. I get it. And they won't have that. So they're really worried about people getting siphoned off of the PlayStation 5 and into the Xbox ecosystem. That is the real worry for PlayStation. Wouldn't you say, Colt?
Yes.
All right. Let me get through these super chats, because there's a bunch of them, and I appreciate each and every one, guys. And I have, shockingly, over 437 people watching live. Can you please hit that like button? It would help me out immensely.
I'm not shocked. Your show's awesome, bro.
Danny Passion Official with a super chat says, Fonz, you make great shows. You will keep growing. Thank you very much, brother. I appreciate that. That was timely. I didn't even read it before I said that. Oh, wow. Thank you,
He knows.
Man.
Danny
Mark
knows.
Cox, thank you again for another $5 here. He says, do you think, oh, that's the same one, but we'll read it again anyway. Do you think the ponies will spam Metacritic with bad reviews on Starfield? Yes, we said yes. Of course. Happens with every fanboy group. Just happens. Danny Passion Official again says, I think you missed one of my super chats. I just read it. And the channel isn't huge yet. Oh, okay. I don't think it'll ever get huge, but I'm here every Sunday, and I'm going to have a blast doing the show with you guys. Highlander 001 with the $2 super chat. Thank you very much. They say, I can wait for Starfield. I want Redfall. Colt, you're playing you played Redfall. You got to play it. I know you can't talk about it. He really can't. But you will be talking about that soon enough. Yes. Okay. That's all he can say. Yep. That's all he can say.
Yeah.
Hargeek Chunny. Oh, go ahead.
People have asked me about Redfall, and I would really strongly recommend reading the Games Radar article I met Ricardo Bear, one of the heads of the Redfall Arcane team in Austin. He's really cool. Of course, I can say that. Meeting him, and I told him I really appreciate the passion and how he illustrates the game in the interview. because I did a video about it, and you could check out my video if you want 8 minutes of what does Redfall feel like before I can talk about it on the 22nd. But read that article from Games Radar, watch my video or Gaz's video, which is really well done as well. Yeah. And it really gives you an idea of how that game is going to feel and play before I can say anything else. Like, I don't know. I'm just glad. I'm just glad that I got to play it. So. Yeah.
Well, I got another super chat here from Hargeet Shiny. Thank you very much, man. He says, Square also has Octopath Traveler and Triangle Strategy. Kingdom Hearts 4 is coming. The likely candidates to acquire them are Tencent and Microsoft. That's the only two that can afford them, really, I think. Or maybe that other group. What's that group? The Embracer?
Yeah, Embracer.
Yeah, they can afford it. But you're right. It could be any one of them, but Sony does not have the capital to afford $11 billion for sure. Let's go ahead and
you remember David Jaffe, our friend David Jaffe?
Yeah. Had him on the show.
Yeah, he's awesome. He was kind of giving a speech today, and he was like, if anybody is out there saying Sony doesn't need saving, he said, this is a real serious indication that they have not moved and evolved forward with the current or the modern model of how gaming is moving. Have your games wherever you want, like our music and our movies.
That's what we've been saying.
On demand, where you want. Yeah. And Sony's afraid. They're mostly afraid because, like I said earlier in the show, they know this is the way to go, and they hadn't prepared for that eventuality. And I think around 2019 is when Jim Ryan started to speak up, and they, Sean Layden put a lot of friction on PlayStation to remove the walled garden and move forward. And it's been a big fight, but Jim's on board. He wants PlayStation's games to get beyond the console and be bigger. So
yeah,
just takes time.
I've got this last super chat here to read from Ice Cold Cabbage. Colt, you like ice cold cabbage?
I love it.
Yeah, me too. I love cabbage. It's my favorite. Anyways, I love ice cold cabbage. This guy, this person right here. He says the Lion King Jim Ryan needs to understand that times they are a changing, just like movies, music, games, and our ongoing subscriptions. Yeah, you adapt or die. It's pretty much the way we've been talking for years now. Things are definitely changing in this space. And that's why when Colt mentioned earlier, we've talked about this before, within the next 15 years, I could totally see consoles start just going away. Platforms that we know that, the traditional platform of playing a game, it could be in the palm of your hand. It could be on your TV, but localized somewhere else.
I'm talking about hitting the Xbox app on your TV.
Yeah.
Turning on your wireless Xbox controller that you already have synced to it, and going to a game and pressing A, and you don't even have to install it. I say that because there'll be a point where all of you out there are like, really? You'll feel like, I like this. This is nice. I like this. And you won't feel like you're getting a completely compromised.
And that's what I said. I like native traditional consoles. I like having the game on my machine right here because it's the best possible experience I can get, right? However, if they get that experience down to a T at somewhere else, and it's just beamed to my TV and I don't feel or see any difference, I'm good with that. I'm fine with that.
Well, unfortunately it's at like 1080p right now, but if you had a Series S, and let's say there's like a few games that don't run at 60, you could load it up on cloud and play it at 60, but it would be paired back at 1080p through the cloud. But
we'd have to beef up our infrastructure for sure. And then they'll find ways of squeezing all that data down even smaller. They'll find ways of doing that, man. That technology is always changing. And when it does, I'll adapt. I'll adapt. I'll be an old man. But, I'm already an old man. But we'll be, in a nursing home, getting our Xbox controller and playing. Yep. Hargeet Chani, thank you very much. Another $10 here. He says, Embracer had to take a $1 billion loan. I did not know that for the last round of acquisitions. They don't have the capital either. Oh, wow. I did not know that.
Jeez.
Another potential is Saudi Arabia, but not sure about the political implications of that. Did this, Saudis are buying a lot of games too now? I didn't know that.
I didn't know that. No.
Yeah, didn't know. But anyways, yeah, man, things are definitely changing. I think Jim is really nervous right now because they do have a lot to lose there. Again, it may not just be, you know, a current revenue stream, but it's the player base. It's everything. It's all encompassing, man. He has a chance to lose a lot if this were to go to Xbox and people start getting that mind share and that thought of Xbox is synonymous with COD, like it used to be back in 360 days. COD was, you know, Xbox. That's what it was. It's not, I mean, really think about that. During last generation, it hurt Xbox so much in so many ways. The Xbox One generation was just a really bad generation for Xbox. And I think it's picking up. I think it's picking up. This generation's different.
It was 2022 is such a driving into the ditch and getting your wheels stuck. But Xbox needs to kind of ramp up that energy. They've got the stuff to back it up, and I think that energy is going to start ramping up. But they need to do that sooner. There needs to be quite a bit of synergy building up for the launch of Redfall and Minecraft and getting ready for Forza and the Starfield event and Big E3 and stuff. So, yeah, but it's
somebody
a good time.
Said I missed, I think it was Biff Rinaldi. Did I miss your member chat, man? Because again,
I saw
it's
it.
hard to see it.
Do you know how to get to it through your YouTube studio?
Let me try. Okay.
Yeah.
So
forgive me for doing this.
Talk to the chat.
Forgive me for, I'll explain to Fonz real quick, but yeah, you go into YouTube studio and then you go to the left to, I'm sorry, chat. Well, this will,
okay.
Fonz will know from now on if I get this for him, but you go into manage videos and then you go, and then they changed the name of it to Earn. It's called Earn on the bottom, on the left.
Yeah, I got it.
And it's in there, and then you go to Super. Sorry about that. Anyway, yeah, I think them talking about the Starfield Direct is a really good thing. I just was thinking we would see that a lot sooner than right after the E3 showcase. How do you guys feel about, as I scratch my back, how do you feel about having that Starfield Direct after the big E3? Because we really thought we were going to see that event land in March, which it didn't. Like, we thought it would be the end of March, but did you find it yet, Fonz?
It doesn't have, it only has the super chats. It doesn't
only
have
has
the
supers.
Members. Yeah, it doesn't have the members.
Let me check one more place.
If you can retype it out in the chat and I'll read it, Biff. I'm looking out for it. So if you can do that.
See if it's under memberships.
Yeah.
Nope, it is
no, it's not there. I apologize for that. Again, the program that I use is,
it could be if you go to
highlight
memberships,
the member chats. It doesn't highlight those for some reason.
It doesn't under next to supers.
No.
Okay. Well, we tried, Biff. I remember seeing, I don't remember what you said, but Biff's awesome.
Just type
Biff
it. Yeah,
I
love Biff, man. Type it in the chat and I'll definitely read it. But yeah, so we're talking about Jim, talking about Sony, ABK deal. Do you think this is going to go through? What's the chances you think?
Yeah, it's going to go through. Yeah. It's going to go through. There might be a last ditch effort for CMA to go ahead and go to block it, and then we're looking at another 6 months of ridiculous garbage. But I just don't understand. I just don't think that the rest of the regulatory committees will be this
regulators.
Oh my god!
The regulators.
Yeah. I just can't see it. Red Wolf, you're in the chat. Like, do you really think they're gonna be this dumb and see that there's absolutely no cloud monopoly? Xbox has bent over backwards and given PlayStation the moons and the stars. Like, Red Wolf in the chat, a good friend of mine. Are they gonna pass this sucker? Right, yes or no in the chat.
You know what? I think it's time for a poll on that. I think we can do a poll on this one.
Let's put a poll.
Let's do a poll. Anyways, while I do this, why don't you just sing to the chat a bit? You know, do your thing, Cole.
Okay, I'm not going to sing to the chat. I would love to sing to the chat. Yeah, but Rebel says absolutely. Yeah. I think it's going to go through.
I do too. I think it's going to go through myself. When I first, when this deal started to get some like little hiccups here and there, I was worried, especially late last year. I was like, oh, this might not go through, especially when Hargeet, shout out to Hargeet. Hargeet was like, I don't know, this is not looking good. And I was like, man, you're worrying me here. And the reason why I say worrying, it's not that I want, like, I just want Xbox to have it. I want Game Pass to have it because I want more games. It's a selfishness. I like Game Pass. I love this subscription model. I wish Sony would adapt this subscription model and, make it to where they put their games in their day and date eventually. Because when they do, I will jump on that service as well. I just love the subscription services. I do it for TV, movies, whatever, that audio, books and I do all kinds of stuff, music, everything. It's streaming for me. Like, this is what I like. I just want to keep going with this. Like, I just don't like how I have a lot of stuff cluttered around my house. I don't know. I like it.
Yeah, I guess.
I like it. I like it a lot. Yeah.
People are like, oh, Microsoft has to buy their way in, and PlayStation bought over half their studios. Like, this is just how it works.
They all buy stuff. I mean, come on.
You got to buy stuff to get
you're
to the size you want to be.
You're buying stuff to keep off of Game Pass, damn it. Like, you're paying for all kinds of stuff. You're paying to win regardless. You're paying to make these games. Yes, Sony traditionally makes, especially lately, the better games, but that's starting to change. We're seeing a shift in that now Microsoft owns a lot of talented studios, and we're going to see the fruits of that labor come from these studios. We've got Avowed coming. That's going to be incredible. By Obsidian. Obsidian makes amazing RPGs. Can't wait for that. Bethesda with Starfield. It's starting now. Like Redfall could be really fantastic. We got to wait and see, folks. But I think it's changing. It's definitely changing.
Yeah.
But anyways, we've been at this for an hour and 42 minutes. I'm going to end the show here. Guys, this is probably my longest show, and I'm surprised that we had a lot to talk about. But then again, I'm not, because I had the legendary Colt Eastwood here. And Colt Eastwood, my good friend, honestly, one of my best friends out there. In real life, we talk daily. We play games. We always talk. Tell everybody else, though, where they can find you.
You can find me at Colt Eastwood, one word, on YouTube and Twitter, where I behave the least nice, I guess. No, I really appreciate it. Tomorrow, I'm so nervous.
Tell us.
Tomorrow I've got the X&C podcast. I was off last week because I was at the Redfall event, and Gaz is no longer on my show because he feels like his career is more important than staying up till 3 or 4 in the morning doing a show with me. Talk about petty and selfish. Well, but I've got Mag, who has joined. He's been on the show a couple times, but he's going to be the co-host, and I'm super, super excited. I'm a little bit nervous that hopefully I provide a fun, enjoyable place for him to hang out with me for a couple hours, but show your support for us there. It's going to be Mag's awesome. He's so cool.
Yeah.
I'm really excited, and I'm just kind of trying to make more content, and I'm doing something a little different. I don't know if you guys care, but my last couple videos, I have this camera here that I kind of book in videos where I'm like, hi, I'm Colt Eastwood. And at the end, I'm like, hey, let me give my quick opinion before you leave the video. I've started to kind of like just talk to the camera, and instead of writing out a lot of stuff, and it's been a change, but you kind of have to keep it fresh. Thank you so much for supporting what I'm doing, guys. It means a lot. It really means a lot. Like, a really good reception on my last video. I turned on the camera. I recorded for 21 minutes about this ABK thing and cut it down to just 10 minutes. And thank you, everybody who supports Fonz' show. Hit the like button. Thank you for being here. We love talking this stuff. You guys are here because you love this stuff like we do. So
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And by the way, I think I found Biff's post here.
Awesome.
Biff Rinaldi, he says, the dynamic duo at it again. Fonz and Colt always means a great show. Hit that like button. And with that,
That's awesome.
I want to say thank you very much, everybody, for being here. Thank you to everybody who listens on demand, you know, on streaming platforms out there, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, you know, on all the podcasts, streaming platforms. I'm out there. But anyways, until next time, guys, game on.